Hey there, Recharge. Welcome to episode 4 of The Art of Clarity. I'm Sarah Nolan, and I'm so happy to be here with you this evening talking about the art of clarity and specifically 6 ways that you can easily gain clarity so that decision making becomes easier and so that you start seeing the opportunities that are right there waiting for you. So this is such a fascinating topic tonight, and let's just go over what we've been learning about so far this week. So the first day we started talking about what exactly clarity is, and we were talking about how clarity is seeing the reality of what's in front of you without any of the garbage in the way, without any of that mental garbage in the way, like the limiting beliefs, the emotional patterns like fear and doubt, and other people's voices and your stories and things like that. And so when you have the absence of that mental garbage, then you're left with clarity. And we talked about why it's so important for business owners to have clarity, and how, if we have clarity, we have power. Clarity really is power. And so if you want to have a successful growing business, then clarity is essential. We also talked about yesterday what's clouding your vision. And those are things like, the mental garbage that I was just talking about. And tonight, we're talking about some easy ways, 6 easy ways to create a state of clarity for yourself so that in any moment, you can bring yourself to this point where you know exactly where you are, where to go, and how to do it. Are you ready? All right, so if you are watching the replay, please let us know that you're watching and check in and let us know where you're tuning in from, and feel free to comment, and I'll get back to your comments as I see them. All right, so 6 ways to increase your clarity. Number 1, breaking your pattern. Now, we talked about earlier how we only really see a small, tiny percentage of what's actually in front of us. We only perceive that small amount, and that perception is filtered by our beliefs and our stories. And that is our pattern. Our pattern is like, what are our mental habits? What are our thought habits? And to break those things, we need to change 2 things. Our physiology, so relaxation, bringing yourself to a point of physical relaxation, and exercise. Those are 2 ways that you can change your physiology so that you break the pattern. And number 2 is change your location. So if you're like staring at a screen and you're just, you have like writer's block, or you feel stressed over, a decision that you're making, and you're just kind of staring there, grinding your wheels, get up, move your body, go walk outside. That can change everything for you. And number 3, relaxing your mind. So relaxing your body is really important, and then relaxing your mind allows that mental static and that mental clutter to just settle down to the bottom. And so all of a sudden you have this clarity up here. It allows your energy to distribute through your body where it belongs, and it allows your mind to open up and to see what is really in front of you, and to see the opportunities to get the intuitive hits and to tap into your creativity. So clearing, relaxing your mind is really important. Number 4 is releasing your limiting beliefs. As we talked about yesterday, the things that cloud our minds in the first place are things like, beliefs about ourselves, like I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not worth it. and I'm not capable, there's not enough time, there's not enough money. All of those things influence the way we see our world. And so releasing those limiting beliefs is going to be really powerful in bringing clarity. Now, when you go through one of the processes that I teach in my recharge program in the inner circle, it's an instant shift. And so it's this like 5-minute process. And by the end of it, you have clarity because you've released whatever that blind spot was. And number 5, releasing the stuck emotional patterns. So a lot of times we're stuck in these belief patterns of, say, like there's not enough money or there's not enough time. But then we also have these stuck emotional patterns, things like fear and anger and shame. And I'd say fear and anger are the 2 biggest ones that I see. And when you release those, then all of a sudden you have like greater energy flow, and you can see clearly without that tinting of the fear or the tinting of the anger, the influence of those things. And then number 6 is your diet. Believe it or not, your gut, your digestive system, and your brain are closely linked. They're almost the same organ in a way. So whatever you put into your body, whatever you digest, is going to have an impact on your brain. And if you're eating processed foods all day, if you're eating especially sugar, alcohol, a lot of breads and pasta and pastries and donuts, chips and candy, and coffee drinks, things like that, all of that is going to cloud your mind. And so you have this garden in your gut. And if your garden is like really well fertilized and it's flourishing, like think of it as grass. If you've got this beautiful, lush, juicy, soft grass, then you're going to have an energized, vibrant, and clear mind. But if you've got that, if you live in Colorado, you know what I'm talking about, or if you live somewhere in the Southwest, you know what I'm talking about, where it gets that like yellow, hard, dry, like sticks. If that's what your gut looks like on the inside, then it's going to allow toxins to enter your bloodstream. And there's this blood-brain barrier, and it's going to actually affect your brain because it's going to go through like cracks in your gut, and it's going to affect your brain. So we want to make that garden, we want to keep our lawn inside of our gut really fertilized and really healthy. And you can do that through eating basically just fresh food. So juicing is great. Fresh green vegetable smoothies, like green smoothies with a little bit of fruit added. Lots of salads. And I know for some of you, you're like, oh, that is so boring. That is so, disgusting even. But if you have been eating a lot of processed foods lately and you've been feeling that mental cloudiness, a lot of times that's caused by an overabundance of a certain type of gut bacteria that's actually influencing the way you think. And what that does, that it's called candida, what that candida does, it takes over some of your mental processing and tells you to eat more sugar and eat more processed food so that it can eat. So that is, this is something that a lot of people don't talk about when we talk about things like clarity and mindset, but your gut, your physical health is going to have a huge influence on your mentality. So if you have any more questions about that, I'd be happy to share a little bit more. Everybody's going to need something a little bit different for that. So I don't want to give too much general information, but basically, start cleaning up your diet and, let go of the processed foods. And that is a huge step for anybody. And wheat and dairy is wheat, dairy, and sugar really is something that everybody should be seriously limiting or avoiding from their diets. So if you just eliminated wheat, dairy, and sugar, all of a sudden you've got this beautiful, healthy diet. So, so there you go. Let's just go through the list one more time. Number one is changing your physiology through relaxation or exercise, and sometimes just getting up and moving your body. Changing your location, going outside for a quick walk, or just changing rooms, going to the bathroom, right? Relaxing your mind is number 3. Releasing limiting beliefs, number 4. And number 5 is releasing stuck emotional patterns. And number 6 is changing your diet and building up your gut garden, because your gut garden directly influences your mental functioning. And so if you have been processing a little bit slower, or you've had this kind of a brain fog, part of that comes through stress, but then there's a book called The Gut and Psychology Syndrome, the GAPS diet. And I would highly recommend checking out that book because it's got a lot of great information having to do with the gut-brain connection. But definitely clean up your diet if that's something that's been an issue. So there you go, you guys. Those are the 6 ways that you can easily increase your clarity pretty fast. In some of these things, you can instantly increase your clarity, like through releasing the limiting beliefs, relaxing your mind, and breaking your pattern with the first 2. So thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'm going to bring us over to the Zoom chat for my inner circle members. Let's see. So I'm just going to get the link for you. Here we go. Awesome. So come on over there and we can chat a little bit about if you have any questions about any of these steps. We can go a little bit deeper there. All right. See you soon.